This is a 300-gallon food grade IBC tote. Most of these IBC totes are going to have this ball valve. But here's the pressure pump. This is an on-demand pump. That is every bit, if not more pressure than what I have at my house. That's quite a bit of water. Like 880 pounds of water. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Mike and you're watching Triple T Acres, and we're here on the back side of my pole building, and I want to show you my water storage system. 2 years ago when I built this pole building, I was unable to do a water tap or drill a well because it was very cost prohibitive. And actually in the long term, we plan on building a house nearby that's gonna have a water tap that I can have a more permanent system here. But I think this is going to be a great alternative in the meantime. So in this video, I'm gonna show you my whole system. I've got a pump, hoses, and how I have this whole thing set up, and it's so easy, and you could definitely do it yourself. So stick around, I hope you enjoy the video. All right, here is the system that I'm using. This is a 300-gallon food grade IBC tote, and I currently have drinking water in there. I used a garden hose up at the house, filled it up about halfway, really about 200 gallons I could actually haul with my tractor, and got it set on this place. So when you get an IBC tote and you're gonna do something like this, one of the most important parts is getting it on a level surface. So I use some cinder blocks here and some old paver brick to get this thing nice and level. I use the level this way and angled it this way to make sure all corners, and I squared it up, make sure that it was perfectly level, and you could tell by just looking at the water line how level that system is. If not, you're gonna get your water leaning any direction. Water always finds the level. So currently I've been using a garden hose at the house to fill this thing up, and I've got a couple 55-gallon drums that I fill up and I pump out with the pump, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But maybe in the future, if I can figure out a way to tie into this downspout and get some cleaner water in here, that would be great. I need to find a way to do some filtration system, but for now I don't use a lot of this water. 300 gallons is going to go a long way. You can locate these on Facebook Marketplace. The price is actually going up on these things. I think I've seen a lot of them on there for like 50 bucks. I was lucky enough to pick this thing up for free. Down here at the valve, most of these IBC totes are going to have this ball valve here in place. I keep it shut off. You can purchase this connection right here on Amazon. Check the link out in the description, super cheap. To pick up one of these, it'll actually bottleneck it down to a garden hose. And I actually used an old garden hose section here, cut it off, and bought some new fittings so that I can add a male and female end to tie it into my pumps. We've got the garden hose connection here, runs into my tote. I used a paddle bit and drilled a hole out in the side of it, run the hose in, and I put the pump in this tote to keep it out of the weather, obviously. And I got to do some work here to maybe cover up these holes to keep the insects from coming in and out of this. But here's the pressure pump. This is an on-demand pump. And again, I will add a link in the description if you want to do it yourself. This is an on-demand pump, which means basically once it builds up pressure, it's going to shut off. It's not going to sit there and run the whole time and burn up if you're not flowing water. So when the water comes in this system here into the pump, primes my system. It's self-priming. It actually will suck up a certain amount of feet. Once everything is set up, all the water's flowing through, when I squeeze the handle on my garden hose, that's when the pump kicks on. As soon as I let off, the pressure builds up and it kicks off. This is such a cool system. It's a really small pump, and it actually plugs into a 110 outlet. I've seen these things run off a 12 volt. So you can look on Amazon and see if you can find one that'll run maybe on a battery or a solar system that's tied into a battery, and then you can be completely off the grid. So that's my system right here. I'm going to go ahead and get everything plugged in and show you the whole system on how much pressure I can actually get off of this. There's almost 100 feet of garden hose here that water system has to pump through, and you're gonna see how much pressure I can get off of that. So let's get this thing set up, and then I'm actually gonna take these tanks and I'm gonna take this off, put it in the tanks, and pump the rest of the water and get this thing topped off. So without further ado, let's get into that right now. All right, so I'm gonna open up the valve here, and it's going to start flowing water just by gravity through this line here. It's gonna run into the pump. I'm gonna take my extension cord here for now. Eventually, I'm gonna actually put an outlet in here, actually gonna be an RV outlet, so I can be able to plug this in and plug in my camper. Take the cover off, and plug it in. And you'll hear it kick on here. So right now the system is priming up. Once it builds pressure, it'll kick off. Yeah, already got water right there. Cuts off. I've noticed it'll run like this for a little while until the system gets all of the air out. Super cool. Let me get the camera turned around and let you see how far I'm actually being able to shoot that. All right, I'm gonna show you some I'm sure the video will not give it any justice, but man, that is every bit, if not more pressure than what I have at my house on an actual municipality's pressure system. So I'm almost shooting this thing clear down to the pond. If I can arc that thing. So sweet. I definitely have no complaints on the pressure that that thing's creating. And again, this is actually going through 100 foot of hose that's wrapped around the reel. I don't even have it fully extended off. So it's building up that pressure to shoot out that far. So let's get this disconnected. I'm gonna show you how I'm able to fill this thing up, what I've been doing. It's not super practical right now. I'm sure the gutter system's gonna be way better once it's feeding it. Let's get this thing brought over here and I'm gonna show you how I fill it. All right, so I've got about 110 gallons of water here. I'm not gonna need all of it to top the system off, but I wanna make sure I had enough. That's quite a bit of water. It's like 880 pounds of water, and the old LS tractor shouldn't have a problem picking it up. Then I try to get these close by. Watch out, Muzzy. Come here, bub. Hey, come here, pup. Come on, come on. Good boy, good boy. That's Muzzy. He's my buddy. He's my barn dog. All right, so I think we're close enough here. All right, so we got these 55-gallon drums positioned here nearby. So using the same pump that I used to take the water out of here, I'm gonna use the same pump to pump it in. So what I'm gonna do is close this valve off, open this up. I'm gonna actually do a better system. I'm gonna put a Y here, and I'd like to use maybe 1/2-inch PVC to use as a stick to be able to shove down here and pull water up that way. Because the problems I'm getting with this is this thing coils up. So I try to get it good and straight. And what I'll do is I stick it down into my tank, just like that. And I like to get it close to the bottom there. Take the same garden hose, take the end off of it because I put it in the top here. So we've got the hose into my water tank and now the garden hose is running in the top. Again, I'd like to really shorten up this system so I don't have to go through that whole reel to get in here, but this works. I've already filled it up this far. Now let's plug it in. Right now, this garden hose is shoved down there, actually pulling a prime suction through this into that, and it's now filling up my water tank. Let's set this thing up on a time lapse, and I'm actually gonna time it. It is 3:15 in the afternoon. Let's see how long it takes to pump 55 gallons of water into my tank. All right, we are topped off here. It is 3:37, so 22 minutes to flow 55 gallons, and I would say another probably 10 gallons out of this one. That's how long it took to pump it out of there. Surely the time lapse showed it come from here. I think it was around here to here. But yeah, let's get this thing all disconnected. Well, there is my water storage system. I hope that this gives you an idea for yourself and you can maybe branch off of what I've got going on here and make a better system for you. This is just something I threw together last minute. I needed some water down here, and man, this is gonna make such a big difference. I can now get some water to my camper. I have plans to put an outdoor sink over there to maybe wash my hands off if they get dirty. I can pressure wash the building, you name it. I've got a water supply down here. Again, in the future, I'm really hoping to tie into this gutter system and maybe get some rainwater because there's a lot of watershed that comes off of this roof, and maybe help me from having to haul 55-gallon water drums down here and topping this thing off. It didn't take very long, but that could get a pain in the butt, especially if I start using a lot more water down here than expected. Well guys, that is going to wrap up the video for today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're always doing some fun things around here, working on the tractor, doing some pond maintenance, and just some odds and ends. But guys, until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Muzzy, are you sleepy? Did I wake you up from your... Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh, you're such a good dog. You are so sweet. You are so sweet.